buses did such a great job. I mean, they used to bring our shopping, you know. You'd phone up Strachan's and with an order and they'd put it on the bus and the bus driver would drop it off at the end of the Keelock Road. And our newspapers came by bus and they didn't even stop with the newspapers, they just used to throw them out. You know, all sorts of things came. And of course there was a big parcel service, wasn't there, that carried on until maybe about 2000, I think.
And that was Strachan's shop was the depot?
Strachan's shop was the depot for parcels.
I can remember the chap Hampton.
Yeah.
John Hampton.
John.
I remember he was swearing in class and he put soap in his mouth.
And they used to do that a lot.
They'd have two teachers holding them like they do now, Jane.
I'm sure the school's just the same now, Jane.
and Jane. John was a big lad. It took two of the teachers, I know Miss Kennedy was one of them, to hold John while they sort of stuffed soap in his mouth.
Well, she wouldn't have been happy about that because she was a nice teacher, Miss Kennedy.
Not on that day, she wouldn't.
No, obviously not.
And of course, the milk.
Oh yeah.
The wee
little bottles of milk.
Bottles of milk, and they used to bring the crates in, and we used to get our milk.
Because the barman in the Five Family Inn recalled, they all knew exactly how old we were, so there was no chance of ever getting a drink before you were 18. No chance whatsoever.
And one of the barmen in there was Brian Swales.
Yeah. The Geordie, he was a Geordie, wasn't he?
He could stand behind the bar all night and tell you jokes and never repeat himself.
The Fife went through a period of having one fire after another. They had lots of fires, so much so that when a tourist stopped and asked Mike Hawley, who was the manager of Strachan's at the time, where's the Fife Arms Hotel? Instead of saying just round the corner, he said just follow the next fire engine. Just while we're on the post office, when the Raffins left Strachan's, Reg Raffin was the manager and he also was in charge of the fire service. When they left, they were selling off some stuff and I was going to buy Richard Raffin's 3-speed bicycle, which was quite a move up for me, and it was £6. So I went to the post office and asked if I could withdraw £6 from my post office account. No. Mrs. Porter said no. You have to know that your mother and father are okay with it. So I had to go home to my mother and father and go back to the post office, and then she wanted to know what sort of bike it was and how good was it, and was I sure it was worth £6. And eventually I got the money and I got the bike, but you'd have thought it was her money, it was in the post office.
See, that was the advantage and disadvantage of living in the village. Everybody knew everything about it, didn't they? Yeah. They knew exactly what was allowed and what wasn't. Because there was 3 grocer shops in the village, Colley's,
Henry's and Strachan's.
Yeah. And that was, because that previous picture of how the village looked in the winter, nobody bothered clearing Colley's Brae, so that was where we sledged. There was no traffic on it at all, was there?
No, Miss Kennedy wasn't pleased.
No, Miss Kennedy wasn't. Miss Kennedy lived in...
Well, Michelle and Macaulay might not be pleased.
You might not be pleased either if our sledges were taking the slats off the fence. No, she got pretty annoyed about it, didn't she? Yeah, she was Daisy Bank.
Just behind where your mum is, if you look now even, there's a dip in where the window is.
Yeah.
There's a recess in the ground.
Yeah.
That's where we used to go into Colley's and get cinnamon sticks and then hide behind where the mother is, where your mum is, and smoke these cinnamon sticks.
Derek Littlejohn worked in Colley's shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my granddad used to say to me, can you rope a wee message for me to Colley's? I'll just give you a wee note. And I would set off with a note, and I'll just give you a paper bag, so if you just get that put into the paper bag, and if you put it in the tree at the back gate, there's a wee fork in the tree, and of course it was a gill of whiskey, and I must have been about 7 at the time, and I was sent off to get whiskey for my granddad.